Alrighty, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to another CYPRX video banger. In today's video, we're going to be diving into some of the newly announced projects on the Hedera ecosystem, showing you all devils in the details, solidifying some of the things that we had been talking about in previous video breakdowns, how the TVL locked on the Hedera network is going to grow at a rapid pace exponentially over the next consecutive couple of years, and we're seeing ongoing developments and major announcements take place. So if you are a Hbar holder or you're interested in the Hedera ecosystem, do me a favor, make sure that you smash that thumbs up button and subscribe. We do appreciate the love and the support, and it does help this platform grow. With that being said, let's jump into today's video breakdown. Before we even get into the projects, I just want to show you guys why it's so important to be a part of a community like the community that we've built in the Wealth 28 Club. You guys can see examples on the X space where we had talked about an increasing number of individuals are recognizing the potential of DeFi, harnessing previously idle utility assets to generate passive income. And in today's example, you're going to see that that is exactly what is happening behind the scenes. Now, we had mentioned this back over a month ago on June 11th, and I said DeFi represents a pivotal aspect of the ongoing wealth redistribution, and the Wealth 28 Club stands as a beacon for education. We can even see individuals going on to say that they just joined after finding out yesterday about the Wealth 28 Club, and that there is a ton of videos explaining everything in detail, all that they need to know in there. Very excited to learn from and get through each of these videos so that they can start making money and make their assets work for them. Now, pay attention to detail, because one of the video breakdowns and clips that I'm going to share with you all in today's video says exactly that, and it is coming from a project built on the Hedera network. So if you guys want to tap into the Wealth 28 Club, the Defi University, here is just a little quick sneak peek of all of the information that we provide. There is literally over 75 plus video breakdowns. If you guys want access to that, you want to join a community of like-minded individuals that are learning how to put their digital assets to work for them in this new DeFi ecosystem, step-by-step, hands-on, taking you from a beginner's perspective all the way to an advanced perspective, then head over to CYPRXtrading.com. You guys can join from that website. We would love to have you on the team, and I hope to see you there. So with that all in mind, in previous video breakdowns, we had mentioned that over the next consecutive couple of years, the DeFi ecosystem on Hedera and like the XRPL and the XDC ecosystem are going to be things that grow these networks exponentially over the course of time. And so just recently, just taking a look, by the way, let's do an overview on DeFi Llama of the TVL locked. And the total DeFi ecosystem as of right now is roughly about 91 billion. We can see that on the Ethereum network alone, which holds the most TVL locked of any of these networks, is roughly about 59 billion. If you go and you just type in Hedera on DeFi Llama, you can see that 71 million isn't even a tiny percent of that 59 billion that is locked on the Ethereum network. So there is a lot of exponential growth to still be realized on the Hedera ecosystem. And we're seeing those developments unfold as of time of recording this video. So heading over to the Hbar Foundation, and by the way, that was something that we mentioned over 3 months ago, that heading into this summer and the remainder of this year, we were going to see the Hbar Foundation and the Hedera ecosystem in the DeFi niche pick up exponentially. And we can see one of the most biggest announcements from today, July 15th, 2024, where the Hbar Foundation went on to say lending and borrowing have landed on the Hedera network for DeFi Spring. This means users can now lend their crypto assets or borrow against them using platforms like Bonzo Finance, Sario Finance, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, and HLiquidity. So that is outstanding to see. And again, just reiterating to individuals, I've shown panel discussions and video clips and documents from large organizations letting you all know that DeFi is not a scam. Yes, it still needs some regulatory framework solidified into the infrastructure, but it is not going away, and it is 110% here to stay. So the Hbar Foundation went on to continue with this thread. Using these platforms built on the Hedera network, lenders can deposit their digital assets into decentralized lending pools managed by smart contracts. Borrowers can then deposit crypto as collateral and borrow other assets for users across the DeFi ecosystem. Lending and borrowing on Hedera introduces multiple different benefits, and it talks about those, so you guys can go click on the Hbar Foundation and read this thread yourselves to deliver yourself a little bit more detail. Before we head into this specific platform, I want to touch base on HLiquidity first. So we're just going to head over to the HLiquidity or HLiquidity. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly, right? It's a little bit of a mouthful there. HLiquidity, transforming DeFi borrowing on the Hedera network. Currently only 1,735 followers. This stuff is so brand new. HLiquidity, I'm going to have to get used to saying that, is the first decentralized borrowing protocol on Hedera, allowing you to draw interest-free loans against Hbar. Now, I'm just going to scratch the surface a little bit, briefly going over this. If you guys want to take it upon yourself and do a little bit more digging, then that is on you. But this is just an intro video breakdown to some of the opportunities that are going to be available to us or are available to us now to grow our wealth by utilizing Hbar and the Hedera ecosystem. So we can head over to their website. You can see right here, their website is very well put together. HLiquidity, transforming DeFi borrowing on the Hedera network, groundbreaking DeFi borrowing protocols. Now, I'm going to play a little tiny video clip, and towards the end of this, pay attention to what the individual says, how you should be getting your assets to work for you. Take a second and listen.
Is an enterprise-grade DLT infrastructure known for its high performance and scalability. On top of it, we have built HLiquidity, the first decentralized and unstoppable borrowing protocol on Hedera with liquidity. With HLiquidity, you can use your Hbar to take out an interest-free loan. This way, you maintain full exposure to your Hbar asset while receiving fresh funds from your loan paid out in Swiss currency, HCHF, an unstoppable Hedera native stablecoin, denominated in Swiss francs and backed by Hbar, the native currency of Hedera. With HLiquidity, you can borrow up to 90% of your Hbar's value, and best of all, HLiquidity doesn't charge any interest. There's no interest, just a one-time fee as low as 0.5%. With no fixed repayment schedule, you can repay your loan whenever you like. With HLiquidity, you can purchase real-world assets like houses and cars or cover daily expenses, all while keeping your Hbar stack intact. Risk-tolerant users can use the stablecoin to leverage their Hbar holdings. HLiquidity is a fork of Liquidity on Ethereum, which has issued over $4 billion in loans since its inception. It has undergone audits by leading security firms and holds the highest safety ratings in the industry. Just like HLiquidity, you can access a protocol that is immutable, capital efficient, and fully decentralized. What are you waiting for? Make your Hbar work for you. Borrow today.
Right, so great little breakdown talking about all the options and the ability for you to go and borrow against your Hbar. So let's just take a second and read through some of the documentation. By clicking open the docs, you can see official HLiquidity documentation. In summary, HLiquidity is a decentralized borrowing protocol allowing users to take out interest-free loans using Hbar as collateral. Now, I don't know who in their right mind would be opposed to doing this outside of obviously, of course, assessing your own risk, but this opens the door for so many opportunities, especially if you have a significant amount of Hbar like I do myself that is sitting dormant in a cold wallet collecting dust. These loans are paid out in HCHF, a stablecoin pegged to the Swiss franc, a currency recognized for its reliability and strength and requires a minimum collateral ratio of 110%. The security loan is enhanced through a stability pool containing HCHF, providing a safeguard to maintain the necessary collateral levels. Now, I won't go into much detail on this. Again, I don't want to bore you all to death. Take it upon yourself and read over this. You can click through, you can read the overview, you can read new different features, you can read in depth about borrowing. For example, it mentions why borrow HLiquidity. HLiquidity protocol offers interest-free loans and is more capital efficient than other borrowing systems. Instead of selling your Hbar to have liquid funds, again, I repeat, instead of selling your Hbar to have liquid funds, that's like a mind-blowing statement right there. Like, you don't have to sell your Hbar. You can use this platform to borrow against it. You can use the protocol to lock up your Hbar, borrow against the collateral to withdraw HCHF, and repay your interest-free loan later, because there is no specific time horizon that you have to pay this loan back, which is also exponential to see as long as you meet the loan repayment requirements. So just briefly go through these documents, educate yourself on it. I will be making future further content for the Wealth 28 Club members on this as time progresses, but definitely something in my personal opinion that people should be focusing their attention on to, again, expand their wealth in this new Web3 digital native DeFi ecosystem. Now, another project that is being built out on the Hedera network is Bonzo, where it goes on to mention unlocking DeFi 2.0, the Deegan's Guide to Lending and Borrowing Strategies. So we're just going to go through and read this updated fundamental piece from July 6, 2024. Again, a brief overview. As a lending and borrowing protocol built on the Hedera network, Bonzo Finance is helping usher in DeFi 2.0, reshaping the way Hedera users transact and utilize their digital assets. Keep in mind that this is all new. So you're going to have a lot of naysayers that are skeptical about lending out their digital assets because they've been so orchestrated into this mindset that we need to buy and hodl. They've been so fearful into putting their digital assets into cold storage, collecting dust because of all the epic events that happened from 2021 to 2023, i.e. the most devastating bear market cycle, at least one of them, that we've ever experienced, especially if you're new to crypto. So you have to really elevate your mindset and understand the opportunities that are available to you through these DeFi protocols, while contributing to the overall health and adoption of the ecosystem. Based on the battle-tested AAV v2 protocol, Bonzo Finance offers a robust, efficient, and user-friendly lending and borrowing experience for Hedera ecosystem users. I myself am heavily involved in the Hedera ecosystem, and I hold a very large bag of Hbar. So this platform, out of the three that I'm mentioning today, will be one of the many ones that I'm particularly interested in, primarily because of the yield farming options, which we'll get into in just one second. Bonzo Finance is an open source, non-custodial lending and borrowing protocol that enables users to supply cryptocurrencies to earn interest. Again, interest that you're never going to find at a financial institution, a bank, or any traditional system, and borrow against their holdings. Bonzo supports a wide range of assets, including Hbar, HBARX, and so on and so forth, with more supported assets on the way, which shows some exponential growth on the horizon. With a focus on security, transparency, and community governance, Bonzo Finance is set to become a liquidity layer for the Hedera DeFi ecosystem. Here is what I'm personally paying attention to for this specific project, which is the yield farming option. Lending is the most straightforward way to earn passive income yield on your cryptocurrency holdings, which is something that we cover heavily in the Wealth 28 Club material, showing our members step by step how we are exposing our capital and earning interest in yield farming options in the DeFi ecosystem in the now. Supply assets, go on and earn interest, compound returns, flexibility, and it goes on with slight descriptions. Then it also talks about real world examples and so on and so forth. Again, more documentation that you can take it upon yourself to go and read on your own time. So I just wanted to do a little tiny brief overview. Here is the website. Now, this is for now still on the testnet. It is not on mainnet. I believe they say in their documents that it is going to be unleashed on mainnet in Q3 or Q4 of this year. So definitely pay attention, but just going in and taking a look at the documents, just like on HLiquidity, you can click through and read all of this. I like that they have a roadmap. They do mention that it is on testnet. They talk about Hbar here, talk about earning points. Then down here, what I really like is that the team is transparent. I really like when I'm researching a project or I'm investing in something that I know who is behind what it is that I'm investing in. Now that on Bonzo Finance is very transparent. You can see the co-founder, the CEO, the CTO, software engineers, front-end developers, and marketing community developers, right? You have their LinkedIn profile and their X profiles, which again, in this ecosystem where trust is very important, this to me shows that they're not trying to hide and they're trying to be transparent to some degree. So I really like this. Another thing that I liked clicking through their documentation is it does mention that they're looking to be audited. Bonzo Finance Protocol will be audited prior to its mainnet deployment. Stay tuned for updates on security audits by subscribing, and it goes on to mention where you can find that information at, right? So that was also another little tiny interesting perk that I'm definitely looking forward to. So just a real quick overview of Bonzo Finance. Definitely be paying attention to that moving moving on as the DeFi ecosystem continues to expand on the Hedera network. And then last but not least, we have Sario or Sario, probably butchering the crap out of that, finance, right? Where it goes on to say the first lending protocol developed on the Hedera blockchain. Now, I like how each of these new projects go on to mention that they are the first in their given niche. And that is very important because, again, I mentioned in previous video breakdowns, the TVL that is locked on the Hedera network compared to the TVL locked on Ethereum is very small in comparison. With that being said, with these new developing projects and ongoing things happening in the DeFi ecosystem on the Hedera network, I think that eventually, especially when it comes to bringing real-world assets on chain and institutions interested in DeFi options as well, there is going to be a massive explosion of not only price action, but growth in the DeFi ecosystem of the digital asset Hbar in the near future because of these new developments. So it goes on to say, Hedera infrastructure guarantees the best UX possible, a ML model capable of preventing liquidation risk and arbitrary and permissionless manners, and a data-driven approach for more transparency, which again, in an environment where trust is extremely important, these features are extremely relevant. Moving on, here is just a little quick Medium post, a blog article about this that was only updated 4 days ago, so it's very relevant. Welcome to the next generation of DeFi loans. Welcome to the Medium account of Sario Finance. Sario is the first lending and borrowing protocol developed on Hedera, designed to provide users with an unparalleled user experience thanks to performance of the DLT it is built on, and to explore the infinite intersections between AI and DeFi. In fact, one of our unique features is machine learning models, sub-branches of AI, permissionless and arbitrary, created to estimate the risks of associated given loans, considering dozens of features and to enhance risk awareness, which is also really good. It says we are working with institutional entities, again, I repeat, institutional entities within the ecosystem to spread and promote the category of articles as much as possible. So again, why should you be interested in DeFi? Because financial institutions are for a fact interested in DeFi protocols. Now, you can again see that they're very transparent with their team members. You can see who their founder is, who their leading SC engineer is. And I also like here that it mentions that he was an independent individual that participated in the infrastructure for El Salvador government to purchase Bitcoin, which is really cool to see. And then you have some other representatives down here that are mentioned. Now, it also talks about their vision and their goal, which is to establish themselves as a leading protocol within the Hedera ecosystem through incentives, targeted partnerships, and well-defined marketing programs, and subsequently to establish their brand, reputation in the global Web3 ecosystem. To make this journey possible, their growth strategy will be based on 3 fundamental concepts: artificial intelligence, a data-driven approach, and interoperability. And again, you guys can click through this document and read it. It is directly posted on their Twitter profile or their X page, right? Clicking over and just looking at their website, it is very well put together, just like all of the other projects being built out on the Hedera ecosystem. They have documents that you can go through and read. So here it goes on to mention, that it is currently right now on testnet, talks about borrowing and what it is. So it says, after you deposit your assets and follow the steps on the supply page, they will start generating interest and also make you eligible to borrow new assets, taking on the role of collateral. The amount of assets you can borrow depends on the loan to value or the LTV value of each asset. This parameter indicates that maximum amount of tokens you can borrow relative to the value of your collateral. For example, if Wrap Bitcoin token has an LTV of 80% and Hbar you supplied are worth 10,000, at the time request of the loan, you will be able to obtain $8,000 in loans, and you can borrow assets for several reasons. We are working with Hashgraph DeFi Alliance to promote educational content about borrow use cases. And it goes on to mention more in detail about this platform and how you can leverage it to, again, expand and grow your wealth. They do have a roadmap. They also have different analytics that you can sift through and research. And then again, they have their Discord and so on and so forth that you can be active in if you choose to participate. So with all of these things in mind, again, some very interesting developments taking place in the DeFi ecosystem being built out on the Hedera network, some things that I'm personally going to be paying attention to moving forward, and so should you. This is obviously, of course, more proof in the pudding that the DeFi ecosystem is going to continue to expand with or without you, which is why, again, in my personal opinion, you should be involved in some type of community or educational platform teaching you about DeFi. Even if you're not going to start to deploy capital in the DeFi ecosystem now, it's still very valuable to take it upon yourself to educate yourself on some of the developments in the DeFi space and how to get involved. If that's something that interests you, then head over to the Wealth 28 Club. We would love to have you on the team. As always, do us a favor, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe, and I will see you all on the next video breakdown.